All right, let's do some hatha flow. Practice the asanas, poses of yoga, the sun salutations. We're going to start off with downward facing dog. So we're going to plant the hands, flip the toes under, press the hips up and backwards. And you can start off with a bend in your knees if you like. If you have tight hamstrings, you'll feel those pushing you forward. So we're just focus on upper body form first, being long and strong for the arms and shoulders. Fingers reached out, fanned out, triceps spiraling out and up into the armpits for stability. Our chest is seeking out the thighs, trying to dive past the arms. And once you're stable in your shoulders, you can press one heel down the other. So people often like to use this shape of downward facing dog to stretch out the back side of their legs. And you can do that, but also being very aware it's an upper body asana. Creating alignment at the arms and shoulders is really important too. Breathing through the nose, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. So notice if you feel strain in your body already in downward facing dog. Notice what that does to your breath. Notice if you try to hold your breath, keep breathing through that resistance, breathing through the nose, trying to make it long and smooth and steady. Yeah. Hey, kitty. And then you might be feeling fatigue, and if that's so, then you can drop your knees down. So anytime downward facing dog becomes fatiguing, you can always come into child's position. So big toes a touch, knees wide, pressing your hips back to heels, sliding your hands forward, chest coming forward and down. Relaxing into that, still breathing deep through the nose. So we're in a relaxed position now, but we're gonna still be paying just as much attention to our breath. Always keeping the breath smooth and steady through the nose, down the abdominal diaphragm. And these poses, child's pose and down dog, are very similar in the sense that our chest is going towards the thighs. Loosely speaking, it's a spinal flexion. But also as we fold into the self, notice how there's less space for the breath to go in the front side of the body. Just breathe into that resistance. Maybe notice the breath rising up to your back lower ribs. And then arms reached out, fingers reached out, flip the toes under, hips up and back again for downward facing dog. You gotta move, little kitty. All right, good kitty. All right, chest is seeking out the thighs, long and strong for these shoulders. And then as we press left heel towards the floor, and you might be someone that's already really flexible there and your heels are already down. So the toes pointing forward, always in downward facing dog. The heel of the left foot, pressing that down so we can step the right foot forward outside of the right hand for a lizard lunge. I think this transition is a little easier than the runner's lunge between the hands. So we're coming outside the hands, we're feeling that stretch between the hamstrings and the gluteal. And if this is still too intense here, have some blocks ready to go. The higher up you go with your chest, the easier the stretch is. But then as we want to deepen the stretch, we can start to sink down into it, coming lower. And then if we're really flexible, then our shoulder might make it underneath the thigh. But always remember, in these asanas of hatha yoga, it's not about how far we're reaching into it. It's about our alignment. It's about what we feel. It's about getting the level of stretch that feels good for us. It's about creating the right action for good alignment and openness. Still breathing deep with the nose. All right, go ahead and plant your hands back like they would be in plank. Step your right foot back into the left in plank here. Shoulders over the wrists. Take a deep breath in. Here we come, kitty. Coming down. Lowering down slowly. Good, kitty. All right, inhale, upward facing dog. Lengthen out the arms. Do a little back bend. Breathe deeply. Deep breaths. Enjoy the back bend. See if you can bring your chest forward and up. Puffing that forward, shoulders coming back and down, good posture. And then toes flipped under, hips up and back for downward facing dog. So again, first making good alignment in the upper body. Then if you want to use it to stretch out the back side of your legs, you can do that. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, lower down slowly, working those arms as you control the lower down. Press the tops of the feet into the ground. Extend your arms for a back bend, upward facing dog. Breathe deeply. Inhale one more time. Exhale, flip the toes under, hips up and back for downward facing dog. All right, so now this time, press right heel down, step left foot outside of the left hand for a lizard lunge. Again, breathing deeply through the nose. Can you have that back knee lifted up all the way, locked out? You need to bring your hands up higher. If you need to come out of the stretch some, if you're collapsing too much at the chest, maybe bring your hands up higher. And then we can work on bringing the whole torso down, folding up the waist and torso, aiming that left arm underneath the left thigh. Breathing deeply here. And so one of the benefits to breathing deeply through the nose and relaxing the breath into the abdominal diaphragm is we're appeasing our stretch reflex. In a sense, we're relaxing the muscles, letting them let go of their holding patterns, because you have very little chance of really deepening into stretch if you don't breathe deeply, nice and relaxed through the nose. Hold your breath, you're not going to accomplish much in fitness in general. Left hand comes underneath the left shoulder, stepping back to plank. Inhale deeply. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Find yourself long and strong again through the upper body. Aligning your shoulders well. Left heel presses down, right foot comes between the hands this time. You can use your hand to help that foot come between the hands if you need to. It can be a hard transition to find space between the chest and floor for that knee to come through. So you can see I'm up here on my fingertips. If you need to be on blocks again, you can be on blocks. But this is often a really good transition that will create in sun salutations as we then step forward to Uttanasana, keeping the head down, hamstring stretch, forward fold. Inhale, hands to thighs, look forward, flat back. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, reverse swan dive up, reach for the ceiling. Exhale, hands down, palms forward, and as your arms come down through the shoulders, rolling down the back. Let's do that arm movement again. So we inhale, wide back and up. Exhale, wide back and down. Feel the fronts of the shoulders stretching and feel the tops of the shoulders stretching as we just let it sink down as the arm bones roll out. All right, inhale, reach up. Then exhale, leading with the chest, swan diving down. Inhale, hands to thighs, look forward for a halfway lift. Still folding at the waist. Exhale, release back down. Grab the ground, step back with your left foot. Runner's lunge. So again, notice if you can lower your knee down all the way. Notice if you can lift it up all the way. Step a right foot back into the left and plank. Inhale deeply. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe deeply. Kitty. All right, and now to the other side, stretching, lunging at the other side, pressing right heel down, stretching left foot forward, here in the leg kick. All right, runner's lunge. All right, lock out that back knee, lower it down, lift it up. Full expression of the runner's lunge is that knee lifted up, but we can also use this position, we can call it flossing the knee and hip flexor. Lowering it down, locking out that quad, and you'll feel that through that front side of the hip. Right foot steps forward to meet the left in Uttanasana. Inhale, hands to thighs, halfway lift. Feeling the spine extend a bit. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, reverse swan dive up, reach for the ceiling. Exhale, hands down, palms forward, shoulders rolling down the back. Go ahead and drop chin down the chest. Notice if you've been carrying tension in the neck and shoulders. Keep letting the shoulders relax back and down, and chin to chest. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder. Exhale, down through center. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Exhale, down through center. If you want to take a full circle, go ahead and take a full circle in each direction as you inhale to the side and back. Exhale, down the other side and down to complete a circle. Inhale, switch directions as you come to the side and back. Exhale, down the other side. And looking up through center. Inhale, expanding up to extended mountain pose. Exhale, swan diving down. Inhale, hands, thighs, halfway lift. Exhale, releasing down, step right foot back, runner's lunge. Take a deep breath in here. You really feel that hip flexor stretch as much as you can benefit from that here as you breathe deeply. And then step left foot back to meet the right. Inhale deeply. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to upward facing dog, back bend. Exhale, come to child's pose, rest for a moment. Breathe deeply again as you sink your chest down in child's pose. All right, come on forward again through a tabletop position. We're gonna lower ourselves down into our bellies. And you know, as I've been describing lowering down slowly, we're also keeping the elbows in towards the ribs. And so we're using more muscles, we're doing more strengthening, which will inevitably make us stronger, make these movements, like push-up movements, easier. So as I'm down all the way now, belly and chest down, maybe I can keep my chin raised off the floor. My hands are right underneath my shoulders. You know, sometimes we do push-ups out here wide like this, but let's have our hands underneath the shoulders and squeeze the elbows in towards the ribs so that those elbows stay in line with the shoulders and not coming outwards. So you might already feel shoulder blade muscles working here, maybe even your triceps. Your fingers are spread out to make as much contact as you can, good contact with the mat. And come to baby cobra. So your sternum comes off the ground, abs stay down. Keep squeezing those elbows in towards your ribs. Keep breathing deeply through the nose. So you'll notice how when I inhale, I'm sitting close to the belly. It's going to float me up a little bit. Not a bad thing. On the exhale, you might fall back down. When you get really good, you'll keep activating muscles that keep that height. And you'll feel your lower back muscles working really hard, and you're feeling your upper back muscles working to hold shoulder blades together. All right, keep squeezing those elbows in tight. Notice if you have the strength to come to upward facing dog from here, extending the arms all the way. And push back to child's pose. Relax for a moment. This time in child's pose, let's turn our palms upwards. So we're externally rotating our arm bones, and notice that additional feeling of stretch in the shoulders now as we sink our chest down from external rotation of the arms. Breathing deeply. All right, palms back down again. Let's come up and forward. And we come through knees down plank. Because with our knees down, you know, push-ups are easier with knees down. And when we lower down, it's the eccentric of a push-up. And we're moving through a pose we call Chaturanga Dandasana as we bring those elbows in tight towards the ribs. Feel those triceps working really hard there. Go ahead and lower down all the way if you need to. And then come into Cobra. So chest comes off the ground, abdomen comes off the ground, hips stay down. Keep spreading out those fingers. Keep taking those elbows in towards the ribs, shoulders back and down. Feel all those muscles working. It's good. Breathing deeply through the nose, sending it low, deep breaths, both directions, exhaling out all the way as well. And then extend all the way to upward facing dog back bend. Exhale, push back to child's pose. Breathe deeply, let the back relax as you fold back down. And then walk your hands in towards you, bring your knees together, feet together, kneel in Vajrasana for a moment, bringing your hands to the top of your thighs. Let your shoulders relax back and down. Go ahead and hang chin down to chest. Feel free to do some head rolls. Take one slow roll in each direction. Or if you like the front half of the head roll, just do the front half of the circle. Inhaling to the side and back. And exhaling as we come downwards. All right, looking forward again. Walking your hands forward. And now coming into full plank again. So this time, knees off the ground. See how it feels to go through Chaturanga Dandasana from knees off the ground. Now, fingers spread out, lowering down slowly. Remember, elbows in towards the ribs. Feel that as you hover off the ground. Just a slight raise of the hips, not too high. Definitely don't want to sink the hips down. Flip the toes under. Inhale to back bend, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe deeply. All right, go ahead and sit down, come on up. So that was our mini lesson for the day of going through some meticulous action of the poses and transition between poses that we commonly see in sun salutations like a vinyasa class. And so oftentimes this is done at a faster pace. Doesn't have to be done at a fast pace of one breath, one movement, just that is how some classes are. And you probably felt the benefits of moving slowly, meticulously, felt some muscle activations that happened. Maybe by holding a pose longer, you felt the stretch deepening in ways in which it didn't before when you were quickly in and out of it. So I hope that was a learning experience for you to understand your own body in asana as we understand the asana more as well.